Hey people, Indrid here, 53, Katrin Purification Plant, Blue Team. Adreva has a Lord General. Fighting in ranged combat begins with a retinue of Stormtroopers. Very strong defense and support can also add to the retinue. Mordian Iron Guard elite scheme alongside Ghaz as a Warboss, a melee hero, walking through objects, very good offense, disruption and support from the front lines. And rounding off the blue team is TravMat's Force Commander, a versatile frontline hero bringing strong offense, support and disruption. This is the Ultramarines DLC. Red team, Mostafa's rocking a Farseer support hero fighting in melee combat. Some powerful control and buffs. Exodite's elite scheme here. Alongside them, some Chaos fellas. Leonus, as a Plague champion, starts off with a damage of a time bolt gun, can get to melee weapons, debilitates enemies and supports allies. Can also repair your stuff. This is the Cogs of Vashtor scheme. Looks like it's been recolored. Rounded off the teams here, Fear as a Chaos Sorcerer, offensive and disruptive hero with powerful battlefield manipulation and control. And just knocked back the Lord General. The retinue's in trouble. Run away, Derek and Nigel. Doom bolts. Almost wiped out those guardsmen. Lord General still stuck in melee. Derek and Nigel have both fallen. Tis a tragedy. Is he just going to go down here? I think it's going to go down, this Lord General. Some heretics run away. More heretics take their place. Down goes the Lord General then. CSM got stomped by the Sentinel, who now leaves. Promptly leaves. Meanwhile, towards the mid, Warboss mixing it up alongside some sluggers. Heretics flee. Chaos Space Marines now trying to outshoot some shooter boys. But the Warboss says hello with his big old axe. And now he can maybe decap the VP. No, what's he up to? Oh, I think it was to try and revive the Lord General over there. On the west side, Force Commander taking the contested VP. A dead Marine over here. Howling Banshees for Mostafa. On the prowl. Farseer has taken some damage. Double Guardians are in play. In fact, they just decapped that natural power node. That was pretty good. Shotgun Scouts are also in play here. They try and shotgun blast those Howling Banshees, no doubt. Double Tactical Marines for TravMat. These guys fast capping back this power node. These guys don't need to do it. And a bit of miscommunication. Okay, now they're turning around. Just got the knob leader in. Looks like there's the revive. Chaos Space Marines with Eternal War here for Fear. Dealing 20% more damage. Warboss wants to fight him still. It's a good special attack there. He's a bit low. And these guys are no slouch in melee, but they still flee from him. I think worried about dropping a model, because you don't know which of the models has low hit points, you see. So depending on who that Warboss hits, another hit may have been a model down. Rangers on the field for Mostafa, and they already have Pathfinder gear and long rifles and stuff. Howling Banshees do have a little bit of XP. Double Guardians, no battle equipment, no, and the Farseer is hanging back. Goes for the Ghost Helm. Can use that to suppress the Force Commander, or maybe suppress the attack so they're easier to get into melee with. Shotgun Scouts going to be important here. Maybe the Rangers can knock down the Shotgun Scouts and get them in trouble. Red team cruising through the mid. It is Leonus with the Plague Champion bashing power. Double melee heretics. They get these awesome little claws with this elite scheme, as you can see. 456 to 451. Banshees caught by Shotgun Scouts and double bolter fire. Here's a flank though from Leonus. Oh, maybe the shotgun blast hasn't been used yet. They've still got full energy there. Double Kraken bolts on the CSM, on the attack, sorry. Firing at the CSM, giving them 20% more damage versus heavy infantry. Force Commander runs away. Warboss shows up with a stomp. Pretty good one. Hits level 2. Now fighting some Chaos Space Marines. More Orks arriving. And here is Adreva, all the way from the east side, with the Sentinel hanging out. Meanwhile, on the east side, Chaos Space Marines dropped a model here. We got Grenade Launcher Heretics and Havocs and some Tzeentch worship, and they're going to get on the power, I think. West side looks like it's going to turn blue. Banshee's back in, fighting some Sluggers. Sluggers with Ard Boys on them, looks like. From the global bar of the Warboss, Banshees weren't able to hang in there with all the ranged fire at them as well. Double Tax and Shooter Boys there. I hear Noise Marines. It's from Leonus. bashing the power node in the mid, which has a generator on it. Not often you see that so quickly on this map, or ever really. Typically it just gets noded and that's it in the middle. TravMat has lost his scouts but does have assault marines. And the scouts are being replaced. 456 to 429. Wasn't able to really get on the power there. Not sure why. It's just guardsmen and a sentinel. Move your havocs up and you got a power bash basically. Fear hanging back for now though. Level 2 Sorcerer. Lord General having a look. But double Tzeentchian worship means he can't see anything. Meanwhile in the mid, Assault Squad jumping on the Noise Marines. And they are being buffed by the boss pole here. In fact, all this marine stuff is. These guys are pretty low. How do you have 3 models on those tacks? Pretty lucky. Down goes the Force Commander. Some doom blasting heretics here. These guys may look for a grenade soon. Assault Squad jump. Would have been a decent time to try the grenade, but there's a bunch of friendlies in there as well. Warboss does revive the Force Commander. Farseer runs. He did indeed get her Ghost Helm. Grenades going in. Banshee's looking for a fight, but they find a bunch of Daka and they retreat into a nice grenade from TravMat. I'm not sure if it was intended for those Banshees or if he was trying to hit those CSM, but turned out to be a good grenade regardless. You can see in the northeast that Fear is indeed on the power now. Havoc's in a good spot. Hard to get around them from there. There's not a whole lot Guardsman and the Sentinel can do against Havocs. The Guardsman will get suppressed. Oh, there we go. They got missile launchers now. That might help. Almost outranging the Havocs. Can switch between frag and crack missiles. Using frag against this infantry here. Guardsman moving forward straight into suppression. But here comes the flank from Ghaz. Big fat retreat from Fear. CSM. White. Heretics. Maybe escape. 12 hit points. 10, 9. Uh-oh. Scouts. They do not get away. That was a rough fight from Fear. Losing 3 squads. Ouch. Big ouch. 456 to 352 on the VPs. Awesome little flank from Ghaz rotating to the east there. Warboss down. Right in the middle, as you can see here. Maybe the Force Commander can revive him. He's been a pretty useful ally so far. He's revived the Force Commander at least once. And he's level 3, this Warboss, as you can see. He's doing well. Chimera up for Adreva. There's some Nurgle worship. Leonus backing off a bit. Fear into Blood Crusher now. Warboss back to his feet, just revving up his chain axe thing. Do the Orks call them chain axes? Or are they all just choppers of various sizes? Force Commander now heading over to the west side where there's the contested victory point. Eldar sneaking about a bit. Farseer now getting rune armor for Psychic Storm. Try and catch those double tacks maybe in the same spot. Using fleet to reposition. Banshee's backing away because they would have got caught there. How do you approach this? As Mostafa, it's difficult, isn't it? With Assault Marines, double tacks, and a Force Commander, not to mention these kitted out scouts. It's a difficult fight. You can't come in from an angle or catch them by surprise. You're just going to get out-muscled there, I think. Well, here's the Rune Armor's Psychic Storm to even things up, perhaps, but there's the jump. Forcing off the Guardians. Here's an assist as well from Leonus. Level 2 Plague Champion. Grenade. Did they hit something? Did they hit themselves? Looked like it hit. They killed their own model with it, but I could have been mistaken. No clue where the Ork is, says Leonus. That's important to call out missing players to your allies. Farseer gets revived. Plague Champion levels 2, 3. Assault Squad getting messed up quite a lot. You have the Force Commander with a Thunderhammer. Looks like 4D Emperor was on those guys. He's now getting Artificer Armor. Takes out the Farseer again. She's having a rough time if she lets those melee fellas get close. Maybe some Gravity Blade action for those Assault Marines. With the Force Commander it becomes tricky though because he can use Battle Cry. Does he get lifted up when he's use his Battle Cry? Webway going in here. It is infiltrated once it gets built, but while it's being built you can spot it. Nothing here to spot it though. And there it is. The scouts with their sergeant will spot it. Usually you'd see it closer to the edge of the map. But we'll see how it does over there. 364 to 352. Stick bombers trying to preemptively chuck some stick bombs where these guys were heading, but ended up just blowing up on the Chimera a bit. Leonus has a dreadnought. There it is. Chaos dreadnought with an autocannon and a mean looking claw. West side is red. Assault squad mixing up with heretics. Heretics getting messed around here. And they're going to wipe maybe. There's 4 the Emperor again on the assault squad. Is it? Oh no, it's not. That's just Boss Pole. Sparklies, I think. Banshee's trying to get in. Can we see them actually fight something for once? Nope, they're running away. They've really struggled so far from what I've seen anyway. Maybe they've done some great fighting off camera, but they don't seem to be able to stick into an engagement for very long at the moment. Can be difficult for them. Heretics with the touch of Nurgle running away there. And is that a power claw? It is indeed a power claw on the Warboss 335 to 352. It was stuck for 5 minutes. I'm not sure what was stuck, but apparently it's out, whatever it was. I didn't notice anything, but I'm not the best at noticing stuff. Here's the Blood Crusher of Fear recovering with some Chaos Space Marines, Mark of Khorne, and Heretics, of course, to worship Tzeentch. This thing needs to switch to crack missiles to shoot the Blood Crusher. There we go. That does anti-vehicle damage. The Blood Crusher does have vehicle armor, although not a huge amount of hit points. The worship helping out greatly though, with health regen and all that. Scares off some guardsmen, while the Chaos Space Marines bash power. In the meanwhile, big old flank. Uh-oh. Havocs with Mark of Khorne able to get away. Blood Crusher going in. Needs to be careful around the Warboss though. Does not have any melee resistance, this fella. Poor guy. Warboss would mess it up. Not to mention some tank busters. They don't only bust tanks. Looks like the Blood Crusher made it away. Dread tried to do a barrage. Couldn't quite hit. Barrage is dodged. And the Chaos Sorcerer has a Rod of Warp Fire. Needs to be very, very alive to the threat of that flank from Ghaz there when he's bashing power. Looks like he got away alright that time. Double missile attacks, really. Why? Just because of the Blood Crusher? Costs 35 power, this thing. And it's going to reduce their DPS against infantry targets because the missile can't hit them. Chaos Space Marines with Eternal War and Aspiring Champion for Leonus. What's going on west side? Bunch of Orks looking for a fight. Finding some Eldar who run away. Promptly run away. We're just caught in a bad position there, Mostafa. Would have been risky to fight from that position. Could have tried some grenades maybe. Oh, but their energy's gone. Maybe they chucked their grenades. Already. Down goes the War Banner. And away go the Heretics. Oh, look at that fancy sword that the Aspiring Champion gets. That's pretty cool. So he's got some weird thing on his back. 295 to 331. You fellas packing. Look at that. Looking pretty cool. West side now turning blue. Red team actually stole the power back here, look. Scouts having to take it back. Webway is going to be spotted by those shooter boys and the knob leaders. Grenades on the Warboss. Nice grenades by Mostafa, but couldn't stick around. Beautiful grenades on that Warboss. 294 to 322. Tier 3 for Fear. Ghaz just goes tier 3 now too. TravMat the last player in tier 2. Level 3 Force Commander though, eh? With his hammer. Which gets a fancy skin when he's got the Ultramarines DLC. It should have like a power field around it though. They didn't put one on it. So this kind of looks like a regular hammer rather than a thunder hammer with a force field on it. 294 to 305. Fear again on the power, and again Ghaz is here to rotate and flank. Fear is alive to it though, runs away. Oh no, can the Blood Crusher make it out though? Oh, there we go. Warps him away. With the Sorcerer's Global bringing it to the Sorcerer's location, which was safe. West side turning red. We have a fire prism from Mostafa. Still level 1 the Farseer. Banshees are still alive. Haven't got a level yet. And here's some power bashing. Ghaz again comes over to defend some power. Warboss with that boss pole. Decent grenade from the scouts there. Some more disruption. And here come flash kits for Ghaz. There's the Psychic Storm. Suppressing and damaging those Orks. Keeping them in place. And a Sacred Standard up now for the Force Commander. Fighting the Farseer. Getting tossed around all over the place. And she's down. She is down. Plague Champion's trying to revive immediately. And gets it. Gets him to level 4. They both need to run now, I think. Oh, the Fire Prism's down. Another Fire Prism on the way. Why was it so close? I didn't even notice it was there. I was looking at the reviving shenanigans. Yeah, way too close to tank busters. You should not take your Fire Prism along for a power bash, I don't think. But be so careful with your vehicles in a 3v3. Chaos Terminators are up. And they are getting Lightning Claws. Leonus not messing around with his Orks here. This guy got stunned. Looks like they want to fight. They're massively outnumbered. The Claws are in, which is a huge, huge threat to the Sluggers. And they're staying in fight. Okay, the Sluggers now run. Terminators did take a lot of damage, though. Dropped to model, in fact. Fire Prism getting shots, and a Seer Council on the field now for Mostafa. Power melee Warlocks that leap on you can get heavy melee spears these days, providing a damage resistance aura around them, which is very handy. Doesn't affect the Fire Prism, though. What's this Force Commander up to? He's going for a decap. There's the remains of the Dreadnought that Leonus had earlier. Banshees are war shouting. Taking the damage so that the Seer Council doesn't need to. What are the Seer Council doing? Are you fighting? Oh, they're strangely split up here for some reason. The Fire Prism messing with their pathing, I think. Force Commander decapping. Couldn't quite get the cap, though. Marco Zinch CSM are level 2. Where's the Plague Champion down? Oh, on this push here. Farseer also back at base. So no luck reviving there. Great Unclean One is up for Fear. Recovered very well. And a Baneblade is in. Could, does he have Vestments of the Warp? Yeah, he could teleport behind the Baneblade and then warp the Great Unclean One there. And get some rear armor hits. 256 to 265 on the VP. Slugger's still doing well. Level 3. Knob Leader and all that. Warboss runs. Fire Prism needs to be very, very careful about the tank busters. Try and keep it at maximum range, which is very good. It's like 65 range, isn't it, or something? Terminator's backing away. They'll shrug off a lot of that Daka because they have super heavy infantry armor. But if those guys get blasters, they can't shrug it off nearly as well. Another Fire Prism on the way for Mostafa. And Fear is pushing up the east side. Blood Crusher's still alive somehow. Oh, used Warp to get the Plague Marines in play here. With that snaring missile launcher. You can see that he's running after every shot because they can't shoot for 5 seconds. So may as well get them moving between them. Blood Crusher's still alive. Here's the assist from Ghaz. Did some good damage to the Baneblade. Down goes the Blood Crusher finally, but that was a heroic Blood Crusher there. Great Unclean One waddling away now. Warp was just used. So you can't warp this guy away, although it's 6,000 hit points, so maybe just run away and just be fine. There's Cloud of Flies. Needs to move. Stopped himself to warp vomit to vomit there. Baneblade getting some good shots. 253, 228. Red team taking west side, are they? Yes, they are. And here's the revive for the Plague Champion. Might see the fist to help cap that. Blue team have full gens here, apparently. Are they going to try and steal it? They're going for the node first, so it typically means they want to steal it. Plague Champion with Armor of Pestilence on the way. There's a big tank buster barrage. One of the Banshees died. 2 of the Banshees died. They're really going to struggle to get into the fights, I think. I mean, maybe with Fire Prisms knocking stuff down, it'll be easier. That was pretty good. Look at that. Assault Squad getting in here with a awesome Merciless Strike on those Guardians. Yeah, the Fire Prisms really help the Banshees close the gap. But this is a lot of stuff. Thunderhammer doing some hammering. Banshees. Oh, maybe saved by the Fire Prism shot there. And now the Lightning Claw Chaos Terminators can take over. Taking down the Force Commander, which makes the Sacred Standard give off an even larger buff. 35% damage buff now that he's down. Chaos Terminators are still in there. I wonder if Fear is paying attention to these guys to maybe warp them out if they get into trouble. Got to have really good map awareness in a 3v3 with a Sorcerer to get the most out of him. Because you can warp allies to safety all the time and that. Warboss, level 5, reviving. Terminators took on all that stuff with some support. They're kind of isolated now. And here's a Land Raider Redeemer. There they are. Just got warped out, look. Oh no, that was just a teleport. 203 to 226. A Nurgle Shrine is up. And it's being worshipped, so they will reinforce this stuff if they need it. Otherwise, they get some nice heals. Weird Boy on the field for Ghaz and double flash kits. No blasters though. 193, 226. Fear pushing up the east side again, by the way. Mostafa needs to try and push this little melee army in alongside Leonus, I feel like. Couple Fire Prisms doing some good work from the back. Baneblade and the Lehman Russ here. Great and Clean want to take some big shots. I'm not sure if Fear used the warp already on those guys. Great and Clean one turns around. And here's Ghaz with that familiar flank and rotate to the east side. Mostafa says VP time. Come mid. Looks like he's maybe not going to push that power anymore. He's going to try and push the VP instead. Great Unclean One may not get away if warp isn't available here. Mark of Corn Havoc. Oh, there it is. Looks like he got warped back to the Sorcerer's location and is safe. And that push, look, it dragged the blue team, all of the blue team over to defend that. Now, what does Adreva do? Do you take these big vehicles mid? Do you send them to the west side? Do you try to power bash? Looks like they're turning around. Got some Plasma Guardsmen and some Artillery Spotters. And the Plague Champion is ready to cap with the Plague Fist, Armor of Pestilence, and Mucus Discharge. Very tough Plague Champion now. 2-to-1 cap. Oh, Rangers wiping. Not sure what they're up to. I think they were just forward there, infiltrated to get vision, but the shooter boys spotted them. Okay. Chaos Terminators. Oh, they thought about going in. Got to support those Terminators there. Mostafa, surely. Terminators are in. Farseer level 3. Where did she put Guide? Did she not put Guide on the Terminators? Come on now. Terminators are getting wrecked, by the way. Getting stunned and stuff. I think they teleported out. Yeah, they did. And there's an orbital. Doesn't take out the shrine. They did some good damage, and down go those Noise Marines. Oh no, look, there's another model over there that survived. Here comes Fear with an infiltrated Great Unclean One. Banshees and the Seer Council still in play. Trying to fight this Force Commander. They couldn't stay in play for too long. Force Commander runs, but he can just retreat back to that Land Raider Redeemer. It's so good at supporting the 3v3. Shrine is down. 108 to 226. Land Raider Phobos on the way for the red team. There's a Melter Bomb, but they should be okay. Grenades. Didn't drop a model, really. Seemed like decent grenades there from Mostafa. And here we see Adreva now bringing his vehicles across. Look. Great and Clean One takes out the Force Commander and tosses him back in a harder to revive location. Guardians pushing up. What are they up to? I don't know. They're going to get power clawed in a second. They pushed up a bit too far there. I thought they were looking for a grenade, but they just used their grenades. Okay, Fear turns to fight Adreva now. Mostafa calling termies at my base. Oh, are they idle over there? Okay, now they're moving. 93 to 226 on the VPs. Not sure why he said at my base. There's nothing at that base. Maybe just meant at your base kind of thing. 89 226. Rocket run. Seems like it's completely missed everything. A few touches on the Great Unclean One, perhaps. And a Mark of Zinch Chaos Predator. Brave thing to go for when there's a Vanquisher Leman Russ around and a Baneblade. Dirgecaster stopping the Nob Squad in their tracks. They have User Choppers and Ardboys double buffed by the Warboss. Ardboys is worn off. User Choppers. Oh, they got subjugated. That's one way to deal with them. Looks like he's going to run them into trouble while they're subjugated. Nope. Couldn't really run them very far. If he subjugates them early, they can maybe... he can use them to crack on the Baneblade a bit. Red team taking the west side. Triple fire prisms for Mostafa. If he can control these things well, they will be a massive asset to the red team. The Banshees are still alive. I can't believe it. See a Counselor in there. Keeping their power weapons for now. That was a Spiritual Rights heal from the Spirit Stones you saw. Oh, and Gravity Blades in play. And Armor Vasurian for Time Field. So no more Rune Armor at the moment. 81 to 204. See a Council run. The Banshees actually wiped in that fight. Just after I said they were alive, of course. The Curse of Indrid strikes. Thank you, says Ghaz. Not sure. Oh, down goes the tank, look. Chaos Pred went down. Lord General is going to get revived by the Warboss. Flash Skits. They still didn't get Blasters. I guess they just want to duck at the Eldar or something. Redeemer goes down. Not sure why it was pushing up like that. To get vision for the nuke, maybe. On the VP, there's a ruckus. Vanguard Veterans, Nob Squad. Lightning Claw Terminators in there with Touch of Nurgle on them now. The Touch of Nurgle explosion scales to the health of the thing that dies. So, oh, there's an Eldritch. So on Terminators, they should explode for big damage. If one of them even dies. Levitation Field. Chaos Terminators are down to 2 models, but that's much better than 3 Nobs. Nob Squad run away. I'm not sure if the first Chaos Terminator had a nice big Nurgle explosion that went down, maybe. All this time we have a Baneblade, says TravMat. Apparently he wasn't aware of this thing. It can be difficult when you're in the midst of a game to have awareness of the units of other players. Even your own. Fear with a Chaos Predator on the way. Blue team looking a little bit beleaguered here. Another Leman Russ. Those triple fire prisms have been amazing. Using their focused blasts to do damage to the Baneblade, and there's a Time Field. Plague Marines are here as well. That Baneblade is done for. And that may be the blue team done for. They're down to 33 VPs. Can they get one back even? Some Zinchian worship in the mid. Baneblade explodes. Level 8 Sorcerer. Look at that comeback from Fear. He was down to a single squad at one point. From that big flank. There's the new tank. Not sure why he's worshipping at base. Oh, probably for the Great Unclean One when he comes back there. Yep, you sure did try, Ghaz. Lots of good rotations from the Orc player. Supported both sides really well. I think Adreva should have committed to taking the Baneblade on the western side and sitting it there. Didn't quite want to commit to that because of Fear's constant harassment. 2-1 is in, and a 2-1 gets the victory for the red team. Look at these heroes. Had a level 3 Lord General from Adreva with sniper rifle and flak jackets. Level 8 Warboss did some great work on both sides. Force Commander level 6 with his fancy looking Thunderhammer. Farseer level 4. Triple Fire Prisms are amazing. Plague Champion level 6. Not sure if he had... Did he do a lot of capping with this thing? I'm not sure. He's repairing the Phobos at the moment. And the Sorcerer level 8. Fear awesome as always. Well, there you have it, guys. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed this one. And I'll see ya next time.